it's my huge delight to introduce Tim Barlow, who is going to welcome everyone to the book fair. Over to Tim.
Welcome to the 2025 Hastings Book Fair. If you'll give me 5 minutes, I'll introduce all the wonderful folk who are here to share their wonders they sell and the work they produce. Imagine them in a proud procession. I'll introduce each one in quick succession. First up, we welcome Glyn Carter, a versatile writer, his bio rightly says, of science fiction, historical drama, screenplays, novels, thrillers and plays. Next, please have a look at the stand of cameraman Ian Land. He processes and prints his photographs by hand. If you want to understand the economy, head over to John Briggs' stall and invest in his book, Alice and the Money Tree. Roger and Carol Denard's bookkeeper bookshops in St. Leonard's. It's a wonderful store selling second-hand volumes galore. Alan Durant's written 100 books for infants, children, adolescents and teenagers. If you're young, please flick through his pages. David Clark writes of local walks over landscapes hilly and flat and gives historical talks on the Battle of Hastings, 1066, and all that. Photo Hastings brings you photography bliss with their books, cards and prints. Photography enthusiasts, don't miss this. We welcome Constellations Press. One of their stars, Patrick Keeley no less, is here by his wonderful novel, Bog Boy. You'll be drawn irresistibly to Mothlight Press for Poet Town, a local poetry anthology representing Hastings' best. Mike Fairbrass's book, The Scale of Things, shows mind-blowing proportions and remarkable ratios. For alternative music and lifestyle, go chat for a while. Have a look at Earth Island Books. Sue Gilbert and the St. Leonard's Writers are here to delight us with members' works and anthologies. Hastings Writers Group, of which I'm proud to be a part, offer their anthology and books by members, Sam Davies and me, for a start. Niels Visser is next with his Weird Woods series of magical contemporary fantasy stories. We move on to Katie Lee, a writer of crime, comedy and mystery. She shares her stall with Alex Milway, children's author, illustrator, who will entertain at Hastings Library later. Helen Jacey is a crime writer who created the detective Elvira Slate, I'll say that again, Slate, in novels set in the 40s with post-war crimes to investigate. James Prentice brings us his writing on the policy problems of today and how public opinion can be swayed. Tom Harrington's debut is Black Toad, a darkly funny Cornish Gothic thriller. Who or what is the killer? Cartoonist Annie Lawson has an output quite awesome. It's in The Guardian, the Hastings Independent, in books, on cards and on t-shirts, most resplendent. Richard de Passando and Ambitious Outsiders have today supplied us with art books. Patricia Hope Scanlon of Artery Editions can get writers and artists collaborating. Look out for her book, Hastings. Melissa de Villiers and Stephen Short, as the name implies, are selling short stories. Horror of Horrors, Mel Atkinson is here, and Philip Sloman too. If fantasy and horror are your thing, go and talk to these two. Next up is Lena Grant with a selection of collector's books, tote bags and t-shirts to enhance your looks. Steve Clifford and Laura Wilde have books for children, adults and teens. Their stall must be seen. Accomplished author Karen Arthur and her fellow stallholder Michelle Petitjean have children's books to spend your money on. Go and catch Katja de Grunwald and her Piper Press. They sell original art books and photography that's bound to impress. John Knowles is here, offering art books, catalogues and photography, with his novels, plays and poetry also available for a reasonable fee. It's Sian Turner's turn for a mention. She hopes her magic realism earns your attention. Her Shorelink writers are also here to delight us. Poet Rihanna Valentine will go far, selling their book Mad Again. On their stall can also be seen a zine called Ah! Finley DeWitt's brings the memoir they wrote with the wonderful title Love Broken. Tom Clayton wrote When Quiet Was the New Loud, an acoustic music movement of note. Malcolm Alexander is here to talk to you about his memoir, Alec, the Father I Barely Knew. And finally, Hastings Book Festival themselves. We can't leave them unsold on the shelves. They'll tell you all about the coming week and offer you books by the authors who will speak. So let the show begin. From the contents to the appendix, from the introduction to the index, set your inner bookworms free and devour all there is to see. For this day comes but once a year. The Hastings Book Fair is here.